The sterile halls of the Galactic Naval Academy hummed with nervous energy as species from across the galaxy gathered for their final psychological evaluations. Commander Zektar, a towering Vorthak with midnight blue carapace and compound eyes that missed nothing, reviewed the test protocols one final time. Next subject, his aide announced through the intercom. Ana Rodriguez stepped into the testing chamber, her boots clicking against the polished metal floor. At 19 standard years, she was among the youngest cadets in her class, but her confident stride and steady gaze had already earned respect from instructors who typically viewed humans as fragile curiosities. Cadet Rodriguez. Commander Zektar's mandibles clicked in what passed for a greeting among his species. You understand the nature of this evaluation? Yes, sir. Ana's voice carried the slight accent of someone who'd grown up on the agricultural colonies of Proxima 7. Predator Response Assessment. Standard protocol for all combat track cadets. Helen Vex, the Academy's chief psychologist, observed from behind reinforced glass. The diminutive Catherian had conducted thousands of these evaluations, watching cadets from dozens of species face their deepest fears. Some froze. Others fled. A rare few managed to maintain composure long enough to complete the test. The chamber darkened, and holographic projectors flickered to life. Ana found herself standing in a dense alien forest, the air thick with the scent of decay and predation. Massive trees stretched into a canopy so thick that only slivers of sickly green light penetrated to the forest floor. In the distance, something roared, a sound that had evolved specifically to trigger primal terror in prey species. Phase 1, Zektar announced. The Drak moth of Seren Prime. The creature that emerged from the shadows stood 12 feet tall, its obsidian hide rippling with bioluminescent patterns designed to hypnotize victims. 6 legs ending in razor-sharp talons carried it forward with predatory grace, while its elongated skull housed rows of crystalline teeth that could shear through starship hull plating. Twin tails lashed behind it, each tipped with neurotoxin-secreting stingers. Most cadets screamed at this point. The Vorthak typically clicked their mandibles in distress. Even the warrior caste Zentaurians usually took several steps backward. Ana tilted her head slightly, studying the creature with professional interest. Huh, she said. Reminds me of the spider crabs back home. In the observation booth, Helen's eye stalks twitched with surprise. She'd never heard that particular response before. The holographic Drak moth lunged forward, its maw opening to reveal a gullet that glowed with digestive acids. Ana didn't flinch. Instead, she began circling the creature, her movements careful and measured. Definitely a scavenger-hunter hybrid, she muttered to herself. Look at those muscle attachments built for ambush, not sustained pursuit. And those bioluminescent patches? Classic misdirection pattern. I bet the real weak spots are... She paused, pointing at seemingly random locations on the creature's hide. There, and behind that dorsal ridge. Commander Zektar's compound eyes widened. Ana had correctly identified the Drak moth's 3 primary vulnerability points without any prior briefing. Phase 2, he announced, his voice carrying a note of genuine curiosity. The forest dissolved, replaced by an Arctic wasteland where the wind howled with supernatural fury. From the swirling snow emerged something that had haunted the nightmares of civilized species for millennia, a frost leviathan from the ice-locked world of Helgar. Its massive form defied easy description, part predator, part living glacier, with crystalline spines that could impale a battle cruiser and breath that could freeze a being solid in seconds. Ana whistled appreciatively. Now that's a beauty, she said, her breath forming clouds in the suddenly frigid air. Probably tastes like a cross between ice bear and giant prawn. The carapace would make excellent armor plating, and those spines. She grinned. My grandmother would have loved to get her hands on those for her spear collection. In the observation booth, Helen was frantically taking notes. Most species' psychological profiles included detailed fear responses to apex predators. Humans apparently included recipes. Commander, Ana called out, still studying the leviathan as it postured and roared. Permission to ask about the simulation parameters? Granted, Zektar replied, too fascinated to maintain protocol. Are these creatures based on real species or theoretical constructs? Both are real, Helen answered through the intercom. The Drak moth drove the Serenity civilization to extinction 3,000 years ago. The frost leviathan is why Helgar remains uninhabitable despite its rich mineral deposits. Anna nodded thoughtfully. Makes sense. You'd need specialized equipment for the Drak moth, probably sonic disruptors to interfere with those hypnotic patterns and definitely some kind of armor-piercing rounds for those weak spots I mentioned. The leviathan's trickier. You'd want thermal charges, maybe cryo-resistant netting. Could probably take one down with a coordinated team of 6, assuming you had proper cold weather gear. The testing chamber fell silent except for the wind effects of the simulation. You've fought similar creatures? Zektar asked. Similar enough. Anna shrugged. Different planets, different apex predators, but the basic principles are the same. Spent my childhood helping my family hunt ice bears on the polar continent. My cousin Miguel took down a cave stalker when he was 16. Thing was bigger than your Drak moth and twice as mean. And my great-uncle Carlos? He used to wrestle sand krakens for sport. For sport? Helen's voice cracked slightly. Well, mostly for food. But Uncle Carlos really seemed to enjoy it. The simulations flickered and died, leaving Anna standing alone in the sterile testing chamber. She brushed an imaginary speck of dust from her uniform and looked expectantly at the observation window. Is there a Phase 3? She asked. Because I should mention, I haven't had lunch yet, and all this talk about hunting is making me hungry. Commander Zektar and Helen exchanged glances. In 40 years of conducting psychological evaluations, neither had ever encountered a response quite like this. Fear was supposed to be universal, an evolutionary constant that transcended species boundaries. But here stood a young human who looked at the galaxy's most terrifying predators and saw weekend dinner plans. Cadet Rodriguez, Zektar said slowly, you are cleared for all combat assignments. Welcome to the Galactic Navy. As Anna left the testing chamber, she paused at the door. Sir, if you ever want to try some real predator hunting, my family's got a ranch on Proxima 7. The shadow wolves there are absolutely delicious when properly prepared. The door slid shut behind her, leaving 2 of the galaxy's most experienced military personnel staring at each other in stunned silence. I need to update the human psychological profile, Helen muttered, her eye stalks drooping with exhaustion. Apparently, fight or flight isn't their only option. What's the third option? Zektar asked. Season and serve. Outside in the corridor, Ana Rodriguez walked toward her next class, already composing a message to her family back home. The galaxy, she decided, was going to be an interesting place to serve, especially once her relatives heard about all these new hunting opportunities among the stars. After all, someone had to keep these apex predators from getting too comfortable at the top of their respective food chains. And if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was adapting to new environments and new menus.